The time has come to start today's practice session, which will be in typically wet conditions here in Kuala Lumpur. The excitement and disappointment of the last race will soon be forgotten as the teams focus on getting the most out of their cars. So after the first race, how do you think this season will compare to previous years?
Well, I hope that we're in for a fantastic season. The Mercedes team have certainly come out of pre-season testing the strongest, which is all well and good, but it's the racing where the pace really counts. It's always difficult to predict, therefore, who's going to come out on top.
The new regulations for this year say goodbye to the somewhat unique nose designs that we saw on the 2014 cars.
The 2014 changes were brought in to promote safety, but I don't think it was anticipated how the teams would exploit the regulations. This year, those regulations have been tightened up to give us a more traditional look to the noses on the 2015 cars.
What's up guys, so here we are in free practice at the Malaysia circuit, the Sepang circuit I mean, but we are in Malaysia and we are in practice and it's full wets for this session, so we're gonna pick a setup, but it's actually gonna be dry for the qualifying and the race, so I thought we'd pick a dry setup because we really don't need to be fast in the practice sessions. So anyway, let's here we go, my setup. So let's jump on to qualifying and see what we can do.
Welcome to F1. It's now time for the important stuff. Time for qualifying here at the Malaysia Grand Prix. Last year we saw a wonderful race here in Malaysia, and I'm expecting another fascinating weekend to come here in Kuala Lumpur.
Well, there are at least 3 or 4 other drivers that could be strong contenders for a front row start tomorrow, so it's difficult to predict who will come out on top, but it's certainly going to be an exciting qualifying session today.
So here we go guys, it's time for one-shot qualifying. We're picking the option tyres now, going on to the start finish straight here in Malaysia on the Sepang circuit. Going down the start finish straight, we actually really got a lot of good top speed here, so heading down to the first corner, going a bit wide, but that's okay as we're going to be able to cut back on the corner, and now sliding through that, trying to hit the apex as we are in P7 right now. We are wanting to at least get in the top 10 in this qualifying since we do have really good pace this weekend. Now anyway, going down to the start of sector 2, and we really seem to be keeping up with Hamilton, but it's a tight field, so we're actually in P5 and I'm this close to Hamilton, so a really close field, and I'm expecting it to be even closer later on the lap. Now coming towards the double right-hander turns, really crucial to get them right, and we missed the apex on the second corner a bit, but we still managed to keep it within the white lines and not lose too much time. Now anyway, Hamilton pulling away as per usual in his Mercedes. Now coming towards this very tough zone for traction. As you can see, almost losing the car out on the grass, but we managed to save it and still keep it in P8. So anyway, now coming towards this fast left and right hander of sector 3, and now this braking while turning corner, and really easy to lock up and go wide there, but we have managed to keep it within the track and we haven't lost any time. So now coming towards the final corner, we're probably going to lose a little bit of time because of the traction zones where the AIs really are good, and we're now down to P10 going through the final corner, down to P9. We're all over the timing sheets, and now coming towards the start finish line. Where are we going to be? Is it P10? We will see very soon. I think it's P10. As we can see, Felipe Nasr not happy at all with the results, but I think it's a decent result for being a Sauber driver. So in my opinion, it's a good result. Let's see, P11. Oh, that's a really close one between me and Nico Hulkenberg. Oh god, that is really close. But anyway, P11.
Good afternoon and welcome from Sepang for what is going to be a fascinating race. It's the Malaysia Grand Prix. Here's today's pole sitter, Lewis Hamilton. When I was speaking to him early on, I got the sense that he has total confidence in himself and his Mercedes car to take that race victory today.
There are a lot of variables that can cause a driver to be happy with the car one day to struggling with it the next. Track temperature, excessive tyre wear or a change of fuel load can all affect the feel of a car. He'll definitely be hoping that when the race gets underway, he's got the same balance as he enjoyed in qualifying.
What a race it was for Sebastian Vettel last time out. The German was back to his best and put in an almost flawless performance.
Well, after winning those 4 world titles back-to-back, Seb certainly struggled to adapt to the new hybrid V6 era. True to the saying, form is temporary and class is permanent, he's back to winning Grand Prix and showing just what a great talent he is.
So here we are on the starting grid for the Malaysian Grand Prix, starting in P11, just behind Nico Hülkenberg. The qualifying was really tight, it was just a few hundredths of a second between us. So the strategy for this race is going to be option and then prime, because I really don't think it's worth doing prime option. You're going to lose too much time in the race. But anyway, the start sequence is underway and we got 4 lights, 5 lights, and now we're underway for the Malaysia Grand Prix. And we got a pretty decent start, but looks like we're gonna be jumped by Kvyat on our outside and Sainz on our inside, but we're just diving it down the inside here, braking really late, but Sainz trying to make it stick, but now it turns for the inside for me, and I'm gonna try to make this overtake on Sainz stick, and then we're up into P6, but he's still side by side with us. Gonna try to keep with him, he's squeezing us out, but we're coming towards the corner. I think he's gonna back out of it as we squeeze him and almost lose the car on the entry as we brake a bit too hard and the rear end just steps out on us. So that's a typical thing with this Sauber car. I've seen it happen to Ricky C in his career mode. He does it with Marcus Ericsson, I think, and he has the same problem. I don't think it's with the setup of the car or anything, it's just how the game has set up, like the feeling of the car. But anyway, jumping on to lap 3 now as we're being overtaken by Felipe Nasr. He's so fast in a straight line, I'm actually looking backwards at the wrong time as we missed him there. But anyway, he's gonna pull away really fast now, and now our aim is just to try and keep this P7 and try to keep Sainz behind us, because he's really gonna be all over us now that Massa's gone past and he's got some free air to pull a gap to the guys behind. But I think he's got Verstappen and someone else, I don't know the other guys behind him, but Verstappen's also very quick in this game. So staying in standard fuel mix. I was thinking about going up into rich, but I thought I might save that for later. So now going on to lap 4, Sainz is now really close behind us. We're just going to try to do everything possible to try and keep him behind us. But anyway, he has got DRS, he's so much faster in a straight line, it's going to be impossible to keep him behind. We're going to try to stick it around the outside, maybe, but the corner is just too long, it's not going to be possible, so we're going to have to queue up behind Sainz now as Verstappen tries to move around the outside, but it doesn't work as we lose the car on the exit. That's a very huge thing that happens usually to me, exactly in that corner. So now just still behind Sainz, trying to get past him once again, and this is just the best section of the track for me, so I just might be able to get back past him, which would be the dream scenario, as he's going really slow through this part of the track, and he's actually slowed down. We touched the left or the rear left tire of his car, and now going around the outside, we made an awesome move on Sainz, going around the outside into the double right-hander. Oh, that I didn't really think I would be able to do that, but he left just a little bit of space and we made it stick. That was close. We could easily have touched him and spun there. It's sort of a glitch as you go side by side with someone. You touch it. I don't know if it's the side pole glitch, but it's sort of when you touch tires like that, you just spin. But luckily we didn't have that as we lock up and go a bit wide. But we managed to get a pretty good exit onto the straight. But oh, we've gone a bit wide onto the grass. Lost the car, but we managed to save it. Now cutting on to the end of lap 6, 1 lap later, as we're gonna come into the pits this lap as Sainz tries to move around through the inside, but he pulls out of it since he's also going into the pits. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen. I think Sainz is gonna be held up by the cars behind. I think he is, because he's got a pretty early box in the pit lane, so we just might be lucky here. We'll see how this plans out, and maybe we can jump some people actually. So I think a possible finishing position would be 6th or 7th, so let's see where we finish. Let's see, Yeah, Sainz has been held up. He's been held up by the cars behind. I think it's Ricciardo. Yes, Ricciardo and Williams, I think. So he's been held up by them, and as we now come out of the pits, we are in P12 behind Will Stevens. So he hasn't pitted yet, obviously, but just gonna try to get these tires up and warm now, because it's really different to the earlier F1 games. Unlike F1 2014, you couldn't, well, I mean, you could drive fast straight away on the tires since they were like warm right away, but in this game you really gotta watch out because they are cold and it just might take you out. Now going on to lap 8, as we see an airplane up in the air. I don't really know why they added that in this game. It's just kind of ridiculous, a pretty stupid detail, I guess. But now coming out of the pits, we actually P4. What the hell's going on? We're up into P4. So I think the Mercedes guys are retired. They must have. It's because we see Vettel in P3, and I think who could be P2? Might be Bottas or Raikkonen. I don't know who's leading. This is going to be interesting to see how this race folds out now. But cutting on to lap 12, really nothing happened so far, like after the pit stops, except Max Verstappen. Like, we went through, I was like pulling away from him a few laps, and then he catched up a little bit, so just back and forth with that. But he didn't, he didn't he didn't really catch up to us any particular amount. So I think P4 is secured now for us, and we see Bottas ahead as Vettel has pulled a move on him. So I think it's a Ferrari 1-2 now. I think it is. That's an awesome result for Ferrari in that case. I don't really know, but we'll see soon as we go on to lap 13 now. Now cutting on to the end of lap 14, the end of the race. I'm gonna allow you guys to follow me through this final lap and see just how I drive this final sector here. But anyway, I don't really know who's in the lead yet. I think it might be Lewis Hamilton, probably Lewis Hamilton, or I don't know if he's out of the race or where he is. It's really confusing, this race, but we'll see very soon who's winning the race. I think they're coming across the line very soon. But now cutting on to the leader is Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi Raikkonen coming across the line to win the Malaysia Grand Prix. What an absolute stunner of a race. I did not see that coming. Kimi Raikkonen takes the win in the Malaysia Grand Prix. What a stunning drive. And that means the Mercedes guys are out of the race, or either down very far in the pack, as we're now coming through the final corner to finish P4. What an amazing race, both for Raikkonen and for us. And Verstappen in P5, also a tremendous race for him. But anyway, finishing P4, getting a lot of good points in the bag from this race. That's amazing. So anyway, Nasr celebrating, coming P4 in the Malaysia Grand Prix. I'm going to leave you guys with the results from Crofty. I'll be back after that.
That's another trophy to add to Kimi Raikkonen's already full cabinet. A race win for the Finnish driver in today's race.
It really was a wonderful performance, and one that the team will be celebrating for some time to come.
That's it for today's Grand Prix, and from Ant and I, it's goodbye, and see you again next time.
So guys, I think that race might just have been better than the real Malaysia Grand Prix actually. What a race. As we see Marcus Ericsson down in 14th, getting no points. I don't know if he's even gotten any points this season. I don't think so, but we in P4 getting 12 points in the bag from this race. And now cutting on to the driver standings. Here we are in P4 actually. Felipe Nasr, what a tremendous season he's having so far after race 2. And actually just 25 points behind the championship leader, Sebastian Vettel. So now Scuderia Ferrari in first, and then Williams, and then we are actually in third, Sauber. So anyway guys, thank you guys for watching this episode. This has been Wingsman 001 with Felipe Nasr career mode. So I'll see you guys next time. And just saying, these career modes are going to be up on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so stay tuned for that. And as I said, see you next time. Peace.